Your body drive me crazy. Your body need a license fit. Your body are too tight and neat. Anybody who got eyes can't see. She just want.
Wagwan YouTube, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Melissa Marie. I am a neonatal intensive care unit nurse. I also do work in pediatric home health. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to get licensed in other states. It's really not as difficult as it may seem. I get asked this question all the time. We're probably going to aim the majority of this for California, but we're going to discuss it just in general because my steps for California can be applied across any state for the most part. Each state has their own particular nuances about what they require for licensure, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same. First thing you want to do is go to the state's board of nursing that you're trying to apply for. And I do want to make the distinction that I am strictly talking about endorsement applications. I'm not talking about any first-time nursing applications. That's a whole different process. And I'm not familiar with that unless it's for the state of Maryland, because that's where I was when I graduated from nursing school. And you want to just quickly glance through requirements to make sure there's nothing particular that you might need or not need. Typically, when I'm applying for endorsement for a new state, I like to start my application right away and then get all the documents as I go. However, with a state like California, it doesn't work that way because they will delete your application. Same thing with DC, actually, too. So after like 24 to 48 hours, the system is going to automatically delete your application if it's not submitted. So I will kind of go backwards with gathering all my documents first and then doing the application. So with that being said, step one, go to the state board of nursing. Now you want to start collecting your documents. So then you want to go to your nursing school and request official transcripts. You want to have those transcripts electronically sent to that board of nursing just for timeline purposes, because if you do it by snail mail, it's going to take longer and yada yada. And also with sending it electronically, there's a digital trace, so you can also track when it was sent, when it was opened, when it was downloaded, and all those things. So send your transcripts to the board of nursing. You then, if you are licensed in other states, you want to send verification of your license being active and having no disciplinary action. And so in order to do that, there's a website called Nurses. I'll insert that here. There's a website called Nurses in which you can use for verification, and most states use it. There's a few states that don't use it, like for example, Pennsylvania does not use Nurses. Certain states don't use it, and so in those states you have to go directly to that board of nursing or that Department of Health, whatever their website is set up as, to get a verification sent. And then for Nurses, it's just one flat rate. It's $30, and you can click as many of the states that you're licensed in as you want to get them all like packaged together and sent over as one verification strip for your new license endorsement. Okay, so now once you've sent your license verification to make sure that they're in good standing, then you want to gather the rest of your documents. So if you have military background that you need to add, you want to gather that. Of course, your transcript receipts, you want a copy of the transcript receipt. So once you send it electronically, you want to download a copy of that receipt and keep it on your desktop. And then you want to have that receipt to upload to your application. You want to have the receipt of the Nurses verification or the direct board, like Pennsylvania, whatever board, verification of your licenses. You want to have that receipt. All your receipts. Keep all your receipts, honey. Don't get rid of no receipts. Keep your receipts. And then you're going to go over to the board website, and now you want to start your application. So when you're starting your application, you're just going to fill it out like regular. It's just going to ask you like name, birthday, permanent address, or the school you went to for nursing. If you graduated, when you graduated, it's going to ask about employment, where you've worked as a nurse, the years you've worked, where your license and stuff like that. I believe they also ask you when or where you took your NCLEX. Then you get to a page where it asks you if you want to upload supporting documentation. So at that point, you're going to upload your receipts for your transcripts and your Nurses verifications, of course. So once you upload that and you continue on, then you're going to go ahead and have to submit a payment. So the payment for California, I believe, is like $400. I think it was like $350 plus $100, something like that. So let's see what it is right now. Yeah, it's a little expensive for California. I think the other states are cheaper. I know Jersey was like $120, Pennsylvania was like $230. Like all the states have different prices. You want to submit your application and pay for it. You have to pay or it will not process. You're not in California physically, you have to a card in the mail for your fingerprinting. And so again, this is why it's important to look through the requirements before you even start the process, because California is one of those states where they're very strict and particular about nurses. And so you cannot just go and get electronic fingerprints anywhere like other states you can. So you have to get the physical card from California, like the finger rolling card, and then you can present that to like a police agency or to a fingerprinting live scan company, and then they can do your fingerprints. So I do want to distinguish that you don't have to use actual ink and like an ink pad for your prints. I definitely could not figure out what the heck was wrong with my process. I definitely had I had missing fingerprint emails sent to me like 3 or 4 times because I kept doing it live scan, but I wasn't doing it the way that they wanted. So if you're going to do an electronic live scan thumbprint, then you have to have it printed and pasted onto the card. So those rolled finger cards, that is what they want, and that's what they're going to use to run your background and to apply to your application to see if you're even eligible to have an endorsement license. So you want to make sure when you get that card in the mail, which I believe I got mine in like 3 days or so, you want to make sure you actually put your fingerprints on there, okay? So once you complete your fingerprint scan, it can take like up to a week. Then you want to send it back. I paid extra to have mine overnighted because I was in a rush to get my California license. So mine got back pretty quickly. And then once they review your fingerprints, run your background, review all your other documents, then they will process yes or no if you can be endorsed. And they say California, it takes pretty long, but for me, it took like a week. I think I got mine in like 7 or 8 days, business days. And so I wasn't mad at it at all. I was pretty impressed, pretty excited, because I was just anticipating like 6 months, like people have said, but it was a good period of time. I got feedback pretty quickly and was able to correct any errors that they had. And yeah, that's how you get licensed in California. It's very simple. Other states are a little bit different. So like with New York, I know when I got my New York license, which that one actually took a year. Getting my New York license, you have to be in close communication with your school because they need the school to fill out some secondary forms. So you're going to fill out all the stuff that you fill out for yourself, but then the school is going to have to like verify ×2 everything that you said and submit it to the state. And then also New York is a state where they require certain educational requirements. All the things that I said about California pretty much apply except the fingerprinting. You can do electronic fingerprinting with New York. It's no big deal for them. And they also require education. So they're going to want you to do like an infection control class, a child abuse prevention class, a harassment class, things like that. And so you can do those all online. I found my classes for my New York license online. I think I paid like $40 for the classes, and it was one of the ones where you kind of just click through. I'm not gonna lie, you just clicking through, take the exam at the end. I've done so many infection controls, so many harassment, so many child abuse like prevention classes. It was just like, this is second nature at this point. I know the answer to these questions, so I didn't really need to sit and watch. But if you were to sit and watch, probably be like 2 to 3 hours, the classes. So yeah, once you complete those, you'll get a certificate that shows like, hey, I completed this education, the things that are required of the state of New York, and then you continue to proceed as usual. You get your transcripts, you get your nurses verification, you do your payment for New York, and yeah, you submit everything. New York is another state where they are very, very communicative. So when you're missing things, they will let you know like, hey, you're missing infection control, your payment didn't go through. As far as I recall, New York did not delete my application right away. So like California, they deleted my application after like 24 hours because it wasn't completed. But New York, I think they probably held it for a couple months. I'm not gonna lie. But yes, so you definitely want to make sure you have all of those documents in, and then yeah, push submit. And one thing I will say as well is to just stay on these people's neck, because a lot of times they'll have your license basically cleared to be processed, but they won't push it through because they're just so busy and so many things are coming in. So I was the one calling every day, emailing every day, because why are y'all playing with me and my money? Like, bring me this license, bro. Do your due diligence and keep your tabs on the agencies and on the people who are there, because remember, they're only human and they are busy and they're overworked and understaffed like every other agency in this freaking country. So just make sure you stay on top of them and keep monitoring like timelines. If it's going past a week, past a month, like something must be wrong, because that's too much time, you know? So yeah, that's really it, guys. It's really not that much. It's not super difficult. It's pretty simple, very self-explanatory. You just want to follow the steps and just be very diligent about each step so that you don't miss anything and so that nothing gets delayed. Because the moment that you miss something or you got to redo something, you get basically bumped down to the bottom of the queue of people who are applying for endorsement, and you don't want to do that. You definitely don't want to do that. Also, I guess it's important to mention that you definitely want to make sure you're hitting endorsement and not licensure when you're applying, because we are applying for licenses by endorsement. We already took the NCLEX once, we're never taking it again, okay? All right, guys, so that's how you get a license in a different state. It's super easy, it's not too bad. If you guys have any more questions or need my help like more directly, reach out to me on Instagram. That's probably the best way. Now that I'm getting back into my social media, I will be seeing if you send me a message. Thank you so much for watching my video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what else you are looking to see in these videos and I will get them out for you. Yeah, thank you so much. Bye. Look more.